Of course, with news circulating that Harry and Meghan are reportedly returning to the UK, the tabloids put on their boots, put on their helmets, grabbed their equipment and said, game on. And by equipment, I mean the pens, the papers, the laptops, the notebooks, whatever they use to write their BS stories. They are on one. My goodness. I mean, it was already bad, but they have actually managed to kick it up a notch. I mean, lies, left, right, front, center. It's overwhelming. They are inundating us with not only ridiculous stories that are wildly untrue, and we could see that from the headline, but also stories that have speculation and innuendo and some kind of implications, or just derived from a thought they had this morning when they were brushing their teeth, or something they heard someone say when they were on the train, or they've just been pulling stories out of their ass left and right. So thankfully, Harry and Meghan's spokesperson has had the time to deny one story. So we're going to talk about that one from Feminagra. But another example of Feminagra doing a great job of dissecting the root cause of an issue. I want to get into this article for that reason as well, because they continue to not only talk about the story on the front end, but they talk about the cause on the back end. And I just find that gets so much more out of their articles. So today we're going to take a look at an article in Feminagra, and then I'm going to give my thoughts at the end. So let's get started. This article is in Feminagra, and it's titled, Harry and Meghan Deny Geri Halliwell Lunch as UK Return Sparks a Flood of Unverified Claims. Everybody looks nice in each of these photos, but I just have to say, come through clavicle. Meghan's clavicle looks so good in that photo. The Daily Fail's latest attempt to weave a Sussex narrative has hit an immediate roadblock, with Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex issuing a swift and unequivocal denial of a story claiming they held a secret lunch with Geri Halliwell. Reports emerged on Monday afternoon that the former Spice Girl and her husband, former Red Bull team principal Christian Horner, had invited the Duke and Duchess of Sussex for a private meal at their Cotswolds home in July. I don't really know anything about Geri Halliwell's life now or her husband, but I mean, they might be close with Harry and Meghan, or they may have met Harry and Meghan. I don't know their background. They may have ties to anybody. I don't know, because I don't know anything about them outside of the Spice Girls. But what I will say is, how easy do people think it is to invite Harry and Meghan somewhere? Like, not only are they royal, but they're just simply very busy people. They are also public figures. I get Geri Halliwell is a celebrity as well. So I'm not saying like, who does she think? I'm not trying to be nasty to her at all, because she probably had nothing to do with this rumor either. She's probably just as surprised as Harry and Meghan probably were. But what I'm saying is, when these rumors begin, how easy do you think it is to just get Harry and Meghan on the phone, or get their team on the phone, or issue an invitation, or get that invitation like granted or approved, or get them to come? Like, I would imagine that it's very difficult to get Harry and Meghan in the same room with you, especially on like a private basis. You'd probably have to have many overlapping connections for that to even be possible. But I wouldn't imagine you would get any royal family member or a global leader on the phone real quick, or any celebrity for that matter. I'm sure it's not that easy, but I could be wrong. Anyway, however, a spokesperson for the Sussexes has firmly rejected the allegation, branding the report completely untrue. While saying that Harry and Meghan are great fans of the Horners, the spokesman insisted that there was no lunch and dismissed any notion of a secret summit. The denial comes amid intense speculation about the couple's potential return to the UK, with the Mail's original report suggesting the lunch was part of a strategy to advise the royals on their return to Britain. The contradiction between the tabloid's framing and the Sussexes' categorical rebuttal underscores a familiar pattern. A story of royal intrigue quickly unravels when met with a firm statement or fact. Quote, while admitting Harry and Meghan are great fans of Geri and Christian, the spokesman told GB News that the claims in the original story were completely untrue. There was no lunch, no summit, and no discussion about the Duke and Duchess's return to the UK, the spokesman said. Now, notice the spokesman didn't say potential return. So I'm going to just take that as, like we assume, the returning to UK stories are probably true. Not all the stories. Let me back that up. The reports about them moving back to the UK are true. But that also came with a lot of provisions and caveats that did not insist that they were coming back to be back in the fold and be senior. Nope. They were very clear when those reports came out. That exclusive from People was very clear and very firm, which is why I thought it was true. Since Harry and Meghan's UK return was announced, almost every unanswered question has produced a new headline. But when you trace those stories back, many rely on unnamed sources, palace insiders, or commentators rather than statements from the Sussexes themselves. Some remain possible but unverified, while others have already been directly denied. That's actually the space that I've been in when talking about this. Many of the things, sure, why not? That could happen, but let's make sure they remain in that category. It's a possibility, might even be a good idea, but it doesn't mean it's fact, it doesn't mean it's firm, and creating any kind of innuendo or implication that they are true are just continuing to further doubt. Continuing to further rumors, which is not helpful to anyone. It's important to always remember that when we are speculating, to label it as such. A review of recent coverage reveals a striking pattern. Many of the most prominent stories about Harry and Meghan's reported UK return lack named, on-the-record sources. Media outlets have run claims of a secret lunch with the Horners since denied by the Sussexes, a half-in, half-out role request, renegotiations for the gentlemen, and even a potential EastEnders cameo, all without a named individual publicly taking responsibility for the information. The Sussexes directly denied the lunch claim, while others either went unconfirmed or were contradicted by later reporting. Media outlets have reported on security costs, a Cotswolds home, and royal family Christmas plans without on-the-record confirmation. Claims about Prince William being blindsided and Kate Middleton acting as peacemakers similarly rely on unnamed sources. Also, those are the written record consistent stories. The rinse and repeat, consistently reworked stories that we've heard for years. Kate wants to be a peacemaker. They love toggling that girl who probably don't know nothing about it, toggling her from peacemaker to finally writing Harry and Meghan off, or being at her wit's end about Harry and Meghan. And then next week they'll be like, peacemaker, olive branch. Like, girl, that woman curling her hair in a side part is not an olive branch. Like, please stop. That lady has a phone and she knows how to use it. She certainly knows how to use her phone when it comes down to texting people horrible things and trying to get them to rework their entire wedding in 2 weeks. In 4 days. She know how to use her phone then. She doesn't have to rely on photos of her wearing something by the paparazzi to be an olive branch to her sister, when she can text her sister the same way she did when she said, yes, I know your father had a heart attack, but still the kid's dresses. So let's not, Sharion, let it go. Because what do you mean? Someone thinks their father had a heart attack and you're like, yeah, but my daughter's dress needs to be redesigned. Not even fitted. Mind you, this woman could have just had one of her own dressmakers come and fit her child's dress. One of the ones that she had in her fashion archive and all her information that she thought Meghan was going to want the connections to. Like, girl, please, look at how you dress. If anything, I want the connections to make sure they are never called and never referenced. That's beside the point. Let's pull it back. The pattern is consistent, high-volume coverage, often framed as exclusive with little public accountability. A convenient shorthand, sources say, can be used to generate headlines, but readers are rarely given a way to verify who those sources are. The result is a cycle of speculation that keeps the Sussexes in the news, even when the facts remain unsubstantiated. In the same week that a national newspaper devoted column inches to the fate of the Sussexes' chickens, LBC commentator Natasha Devon cut through the noise with a simple, devastating question: who actually cares? And then also Meghan's Instagram story, that little quip about the chickens, a person who takes care of chickens would technically be a chicken tender, cracked me up. And I thought it was very timely. I don't know if it was intentional because she's kind of like detached from what's going on in the tabloids. It could have just genuinely been a funny coincidence, but I also felt like that might have just been a nice little like, y'all are doing too much. Who knows? But it was funny to me. Devon unpicked the unhinged headlines splashed across the front pages, headlines that, by their very existence, disprove the claim that Harry and Meghan have faded from public relevance. If the couple were truly irrelevant, why do their poultry arrangements warrant a standalone story? Why does a Telegraph report on whether their chickens will accompany them to the UK generate waves of coverage? I can't believe people clicked on that. The contradiction, is glaring. On one hand, royal commentators insist the Sussexes are no longer significant. On the other hand, the media machine churns out story after story about their pets, their lunch plans, their every move. As Devon noted, the coverage is relentless, obsessive, and often absurd. And yet, the same outlets that profit from this fixation are quick to declare the couple irrelevant when it suits their narrative. The truth is simpler. The Sussexes generate clicks, headlines, and debate. The media cannot quit them, no matter how many times they claim otherwise. Thank you so much for watching the SharionSade YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching my content. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video by hitting the thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to comment along the way. If you feel so inclined, please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Now let's get back to the video. To be fair, Harry and Meghan doing anything is the Super Bowl to the tabloids, especially those in the UK, because not only do they have the ability to report on the facts at hand and the information that we do have on hand, especially the verified information, but they also get to turn every little grain of detail into its own story. And then from there, they get to speculate about more things, which then become even more stories. They have their own little Marvel multiverse of bullshit rooted in Harry and Meghan check the mail thing. And they can just make that into a month of stories. And this is their Super Bowl. This is their livelihood. This is what they do it for. They get suited and booted to talk about Harry and Meghan. And I can only imagine that those that work in office, they just kind of have like a cork board of bullshit. Like, hey, Harry and Meghan shook hands with an alien. We used that one already. Take that off the board. Like, I just see this as this whole energetic office based on bullshit. And that's really what it is. At least that's how it comes across. If they don't want to undermine their own credibility or their own reputation or come off that way, maybe they should start just reporting on the facts and the information and being very honest about the derivative of their stories and their sources. But that's like wishing for extra wishes when you get a one wish willow. It's never going to work. So anyway, I'm glad that Harry and Meghan's spokesperson verified and slammed this story and firmly denied it. That's one less thing that we have to worry about floating around. But then they're going to find other things to talk about in that. So, you know, it's their line of work. And at this point, I'm exhausted with them. I can only imagine how annoyed Harry and Meghan are with them. If they even notice anymore, they probably don't care. It's like par for the course. So anyway, that's all I have for y'all today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to share so that more people can find us. And I will see y'all next time. And before I let you go, don't spread rumors and bullshit. Okay, that's it. Bye, y'all.